Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we are talking the NFL draft, and in this we are specifically talking about Deion Sanders' son, Shedeur Sanders, not getting selected at all in the first round of the NFL draft. Now, we know the second round of the draft starts tonight. He'll more than likely get picked then. He wasn't at the draft last night. They were at a watch party in Texas. However, that didn't mean that you were required to go. There were other people who were in the first round that stayed at home as well. So I think it's a little bit of a... I feel like this was meant to humble Shedeur Sanders, and I also feel this is a way that the NFL was getting back at Deion, because I feel like they're mad at him that he didn't want to take a coaching job at the NFL. This is my theory. This is no inside sources. This is no secret meetings with anybody. No. This is just my take, my opinion, because I saw once that, Dallas Cowboys had fired their head coach. They fired their head coach, Mike McCarthy, and the rumors were pushing hard, like, oh, Deion Sanders, he's gonna, coach the Cowboys, the team he used to play for, and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, no, he's not. I'm like, he worked his butt off at an HBCU to get into, to take his talents to Colorado. I'm like, he's gonna stay at Colorado. I'm like, if he goes anywhere, he would go to another major school. He would go to, like, a big school, like an Alabama or an Ohio State or something like that of that caliber, but he's not going to the NFL when he has a system to where he develops players. He has a method to his madness. He doesn't want to deal with these with these arrogant NFL athletes that don't want to listen to nobody, that want to hook up with all these. Let me not even get on a tangent. But he wants to character build these men that are in college, is my point, right? And he's had these academies for decades now where Deion's always been giving back to the youth. So essentially, Shedeur Sanders gave a message about not being selected in the draft and everything else, and we're going to get into this article. It says the following. It says, Deion Shiloh Sanders amazed at the reaction to Shedeur Sanders' NFL draft slide controversy. Deion Sanders and Shiloh Sanders displayed an emotional reaction to teammate and family member Shedeur Sanders' NFL draft slide. As NFL teams passed on the quarterback in the first round, Deion was amazed, and Shiloh made some jokes at the family's draft party at their home in Texas. Colorado Buffaloes coach Deion Sanders and fellow NFL draft hopeful Shiloh Sanders displayed an emotional reaction to teammate and family member Shedeur Sanders' NFL draft slide out of the first round of the 2025 NFL draft. As NFL teams passed on the quarterback in the first round, Deion was amazed, and Shiloh made some jokes at the family's draft party at their home in Texas. As the New Orleans Saints drafted Texas Longhorns offensive tackle Kelvin Banks Jr. with the number 9 overall pick instead of Sanders, Coach Prime shook his head. The Cleveland Browns made a blockbuster NFL trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I was pissed. I was pissed because I was like, what the heck? I was like, what the heck? And I was like, child, the Jaguars drafted former Colorado Buffaloes consensus All-American player Travis Hunter at number 2 overall, while Cleveland drafted defensive tackle Mason Graham with the number 5 overall pick. Deion Sanders' amazement continued as he noted that the Browns quarterback Joe Flacco is my age. You're correct, Coach Prime. Joe Flacco is your age. They have a scandal upon scandal with Deshaun Watson. Jameis Winston signed over to the Steelers. But, it's just a hot mess. Coach Brian said, "I like Flacco" at the end of the video. Shiloh's reaction to his brother's NFL draft slide out of the first round is to joke around with Shedeur. Did Shedeur slide out of the first round due to controversy surrounding his father, DEION? "I don't even know what they're going to do with me if they making him wait, oh buddy," and laughed at and Shiloh laughed. Shiloh also told Shedeur before the Brown selections, "If they don't take you right now, then it's something going on." And the Sanders brothers are in Texas with their family and father coach Deion Sanders instead of attending the NFL draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm glad they didn't attend after this foolishness. Most were shocked to see Sanders slide past the Pittsburgh Steelers' 21st pick, and then the New York Giants passed on Sanders twice in the first round. Giants coach Brian Daboll drafted Penn State edge Abdul Qadir at number 3 overall. Then New York traded up with the Houston Texans for the number 25 overall pick, but drafted former Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart over Sanders. Again, another quarterback I know nothing about in this draft. Did not hear about him at all. So the biggest questions heading into, today 2 of the 2025 NFL draft is which team will draft Sanders in which round. The Cleveland Browns, who have the 33rd and 36th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders, who have the 37th pick, and New Orleans Saints, number 40, are all potential options for Sanders early in the second round. Sanders, is ranked in the 3rd best available prospect on NFL.com account behind South Carolina safety junior Nick Imanwari and Michigan junior cornerback Will Johnson. With the Colorado Buffaloes in 2024, Sanders threw for 4,134 yards with 37 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Sanders won the Johnny Unitas Award for the nation's top senior quarterback, set the record for the longest consecutive touchdown pass streak in NCAA history with 49 games. Sanders also was a finalist for the Davey O'Brien, Manning, and Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Awards. Deion Sanders sent a message out in the morning day 2 of the draft. "My Bible says God uses the foolish things to confound the wise, and he chose the weak things of the world that he may be put into shame in the strong. Please know God ain't done, and God is really just getting started. Enjoy this lesson and stop stressing," wrote Deion Sanders. It's just, I just feel a certain way about this because I did not I don't like what they're doing. I feel like they're just not, I'm just not feeling it. I am not feeling it at all. I remember back in, this was back in, when was this? This was back on March 3rd. This is when I had a feeling something nefarious was going to go on in the draft. Josina Anderson, who is a black female sports reporter, said the following tweet on March 3rd. This was around the time when these college players were doing their different interviews, auditions for the draft. They have different, the name's escaping of me what it is, but they have you run routes and they try to ask you interview questions, and different teams, different scouters try to look at you and see whether or not you'd be a good fit for their team. So Josina tweeted the following: "I'm disappointed to hear that a quarterback's coach from a team drafting in the top 7 referred to Shedeur Sanders coming off as, quote, brash and arrogant in his team interview and making his assessment known to a number of people per source. I'm purposely not naming the team as to not directly call the team out. I'm just sharing that the coach's personal assessment is the direct opposite from how Sanders came across many reporters in his press conference with the media at the Combine." That's what it's called, the Combine. Sanders appeared to go out of his way to acknowledge multiple media members, regardless if they were recognizable or not. He seemed cordial, polite, witty, thoughtful, along with being confident, as many athletes were. And alternatively, these observations were distinctly different from how another quarterback prospect came off to some in the media last year in Indy. According to leak sources, said quarterback coach seems to have an issue with, quote, the culture of athletes who have broad fame and financial success before entering the NFL, and in their opinion, fans appears to them to have a problem with certain athletes. I'll leave it at that. And this is my problem. This is how pre-draft evaluations can get jacked because of evaluators who don't seemingly possess the discernment to detect intangible traits that are connected to the will and the drive and the win without being a stat or delineated as an analytics report. He's literally Deion Sanders' son, and despite growing up differently from most, seemed fairly grounded. Hopefully, any potential biases towards, quote, the culture are being checked at the door, not to unduly impact stock and business. The modern-day college athlete is evolving, as is the scale of business and opportunities surrounding them before entering the professional leagues. Adaptation sounds necessary and not just for Sanders. The coach is also not in favor of getting Shedeur Sanders. That is what prompted my post, because there are other folks in the building who vehemently disagree with that assessment. The comments, all of which I did not report on, were over the top, even beyond football. Sanders is obviously a marketing star as well. I think, you know what? I think they wanted to humble him. I truly think they wanted to humble him, and I think they're mad that Deion didn't want to, coach in the NFL. That's honestly what I think has happened. This is honestly what I think has happened. I don't know what teams these were that feels this way. I don't know if it was the Browns. I don't know if it was the Raiders, but because those were some of the teams that were in the top, selection. But I felt like the moment that I saw this tweet was on March 3rd. The draft was yesterday, April 24th. The moment I saw that tweet, I knew, and I had a feeling that Shedeur Sanders was going to drop, you guys. I had a feeling he was going to drop, and they were going to, they were going to make an example out of him. And I don't know if they're doing this, if they feel a way about, these players, former players and their kids. If they, since he grew up, with a nice lifestyle and everything else similar to LeBron and his son, if this is like the NFL's payback, like, hey, we're going to humble you. You're not going to be making all this money and da-da-da. I don't know if this is backlash because of the NIL deals, but I feel like Shedeur Sanders, I have never heard about Deion Sanders' kids in the news for any crazy off the field stuff, right? The stuff that I did hear about the off the field had to do with, I guess, the spending of the NIL stuff. But it was nothing. They weren't in any scandals. It's not a situation, and this is no shade to Travis Hunter, but his girlfriend is a hot mess. She's inappropriate. She's out of order, but she has the complexion for protection. So Travis was going to go in the top 5 anyways. He was always going to go in the top 5. But the people who are bashing the school and bashing Deion Sanders' program, my question is, well, if they want nothing to do with the program, then why did they pick Travis Hunter? And if they wanted nothing to do with anything, why can't they keep Shedeur Sanders' name out their mouths last night? Y'all can't have it both ways. Y'all can't say that the school sucks and that the team sucks, even though they just got, invited to a bowl game this year. And then all of a sudden say, oh, well, the team's really not that good, or Shedeur Sanders' stats are a little inflated and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But if the team is not good, where are the stats coming from? Can you make it make sense? Can you make it make sense? I think there's something nefarious going on. I think they want to humble Deion Sanders' son, and I think they're pissed, like I said, that Deion Sanders did not want to leave college to coach in the NFL, because there was plenty of NFL jobs openings. And, there were rumors that they were going to try to get Deion Sanders, and Deion Sanders flipped it and was like, I'm going to sign an extension with Colorado. I mean, listen, look at the millions of dollars that Deion Sanders is generating interest for Colorado, and people watching the games, people seeing how the school is going to perform, increasing, the number of people who are going to come to this school, come to this program, and bringing attention to it. And we're getting games on ESPN in the middle of the night at 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning to see Deion Sanders. And this is the things he gets. Y'all use him for publicity. Y'all use him all the time for all this publicity. Y'all were using his son all this time for all this publicity, and then when the lights were on and when the draft was on, we're like, we don't know when Shedeur Sanders is going to go. We heard rumors that he might go to this team, he might go, pay attention to the Steelers, pay attention to the Rams, pay attention to this team, da-da-da-da-da-da, and none of it happened. So, and then y'all wanted to be like, well, Tom Brady, he was a 6th-round draft pick. Lamar Jackson, he was picked in such and such, and Jalen Hurts was picked at such and such. And y'all are trying to just make sense out of nothing. No. This has nothing to do with any of that. This is a biased hit piece that was put out by one of the scouts at the Combine back in March, and retaliation after Deion Sanders decided he was not going to take an NFL job. And basically, once that hit piece went out there, all these teams were like, we're good on Shedeur Sanders. I have seen him be nothing but respectful in press conferences. I've never seen him cuss anybody out or act out of pocket or act out of order. This is some nonsense. This is some BS, and the NFL should be ashamed of themselves. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.